Welcome back, Focus Learners. I am so thrilled to have you here for today's explainer. We are taking a really deep, structured look at something that affects, well, almost every single one of us, yet it's kind of rarely understood. We're talking about the respect rule and the underlying psychology of lasting connection. Okay, let's dive into this. I want to start things off by asking you a super direct question. Think about your own relationship or, the relationships of those around you. What do couples want most? If you go out onto the street right now and ask literally any couple what the bedrock of their ideal relationship looks like, they almost always give you the exact same two-word answer: love and respect. It sounds so simple, right? It just rolls right off the tongue. But honestly, there is a massive disconnect in how we actually process those two concepts. And this brilliantly illustrates a really fascinating blind spot. The disconnect is absolutely everywhere. I mean, our cultural obsession with romanticizing love dominates everything, right? We have thousands upon thousands of songs, these epic blockbuster movies, and literally entire sections of bookstores dedicated to that sweeping, passionate feeling of love. But respect? Man, respect is kind of the quiet sibling. We almost never talk about what respect actually looks like in our day-to-day lives. You don't exactly see summer blockbusters about a couple communicating clearly and valuing each other's boundaries, do you? But as we're about to see, our cultural focus is entirely backwards. Get ready for a real game changer here, because this scientific reality completely flips the script on modern romance. Psychological research actually shows that respect is a better predictor of long-term relationship satisfaction than liking or even loving your partner. Seriously, think about that for a second. The intense feelings of love, well, they might get you through the front door, but it's the structural integrity of respect that keeps the whole house from collapsing. Without it, even the most incredibly passionate love eventually fizzles out into just pure frustration. Section 1. Redefining romantic respect. So, we really need to completely redefine what this concept means. Do you actually know what the respect rule is? And maybe more importantly, as we go through this explainer, I want you to honestly ask yourself, are you actually following it in your own life? See, the reason we struggle with this so much is because of how we're taught to define the word itself. We usually view respect as a hierarchy. We tend to think of authority respect, the kind of deference you give to a status figure, like a strict boss, a professor, or a grandparent. It's kind of about knowing your place. But the prototype for romantic respect is completely different. It isn't about status, power dynamics, or hierarchy at all. No, romantic respect is entirely horizontal. It's really just about how you treat your partner's unique, inherent value as an equal human being. Psychologists have actually drilled down to identify the specific core features that make a partner feel genuinely respected. And when we look at the mechanics of it, it's pretty fascinating to notice what is entirely missing from the top of the list. You don't see expensive gifts, you don't see surprise vacations, or grand, sweeping romantic gestures. The central features of respect are actually just quiet daily habits. It's honesty, it's active, intentional listening, and it's the ability to be completely non-judgmental when your partner is being vulnerable with you. So the crucial point is this. A central feature of true respect is always going to be acceptance over control. I mean, how often do we enter a relationship thinking, they're great, but with just a little bit of my help, they could be perfect? That instinct to fix, manage, or control your partner is actually the exact opposite of respect. Respect fundamentally means accepting your partner exactly as they are right now, flaws and all, without treating them like some fixer-upper house you bought on the cheap. Now, when you practice that level of acceptance, you become what psychologists call a security-enhancing figure. This is a super key psychological term. Basically, it just means you are someone your partner can unequivocally rely on for comfort and support. When you respect someone, you actively view them through this specific lens. You become their safe harbor. You aren't their critic, you're their absolute foundation. Section 2. The Antidote to Contempt. Every good explainer needs a villain, right? Let's move to and see how this builds into the very real problem of relationship toxicity. In relationship psychology, we really cannot talk about toxicity without bringing in Dr. John Gottman. He's one of the most famous and heavily cited researchers in the whole field of couples therapy. And he famously identified that contempt is the #1 predictor of divorce. Think about that. It isn't anger, it isn't fighting, it's contempt. This is the undeniable, scientifically backed danger zone of literally any partnership. But what does contempt actually look like in daily practice? Well, it's often incredibly subtle. Contempt is that lingering feeling of moral superiority. It shows up in that quiet little eye roll when your partner is speaking. It's the slight sarcasm, the mockery, or even just a dismissive sigh. These tiny, seemingly insignificant behaviors are actually like emotional acid. They slowly corrode the foundation of the relationship by signaling to your partner that you find them ridiculous or worse, unworthy. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the sharp contrast in the internal monologues going on here. Contempt sends a very clear toxic message: you are beneath me. It just dismisses the other person entirely. Respect, on the other hand, operates on a fundamentally validating premise. Your feelings and needs are exactly as valid as mine. Even if you totally disagree, even if you are actively in the middle of a heated argument, respect maintains that core baseline of human equality. And this is exactly why the respect rule is the direct, vital, and frankly, the only effective antidote to contemptuous behavior. If a person feels contempt toward their partner, or if they feel contempt from them, those lines of communication are completely severed. There is very little they can do to get their needs taken seriously. I mean, you simply cannot collaborate with someone who actually believes they're inherently better than you. By actively enforcing the respect rule, you basically neutralize the toxicity of contempt before it can even take root. Section 3. The mutual cyclical growth. Now let's shift gears from the problem to the real climax here, the almost magical reciprocal property of the respect rule. So we know the problem and the antidote, but the absolute most beautiful part of the respect rule is that it functions as this incredible upward spiral. Step 1, one partner chooses to act in a respect-worthy manner. Maybe they just listen without interrupting during a super stressful moment. Step 2, that action naturally generates a genuine feeling of respect in return from the other partner. And step 3, this reciprocal exchange deepens the overall security and mutual trust in the relationship. Basically, one partner's positive behavior literally makes it easier and more natural for the other partner to act the exact same way. It's an amazing self-feeding engine of relationship growth. To bring this all down to a practical, daily level for a second, respect isn't just some passive feeling that washes over you. It's actually a verb. It is a series of daily, intentional choices. It's choosing not to roll your eyes. It's choosing to listen when you're completely exhausted. It's choosing to accept your partner rather than critique them. Love is what you feel, but respect is what you do. Which leaves us with the most important question of all. Where does your relationship stand today? Are you maybe trapped in a cycle of subtle contempt, or are you actively building that upward spiral of mutual cyclical growth? To help you figure that out, I've put a link to a respect assessment right down in the description below. Check it out, take a moment to reflect on your own daily choices, and if you're ready to move away from contempt and toward genuine connection, make sure you join our community of focused learners. Next time, we're going to be unpacking another massive relationship hurdle, exploring exactly why so many of us feel completely unappreciated, even when we are trying our absolute best. Until then, ask yourself, what is one choice you can make today to show your partner that their needs are just as valid as your own?